Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 145 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. A little bit different of a show tonight. We've got a complete, full recap of our Indiana golf trip. Of course, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. How you feeling, bud?
We're unwell.
I think I'm so unwell I didn't say my name. My name is Mitch, for those that don't know. I'm also unwell. I think you just described it perfectly before we hopped on, where you the analogy you used was like how the gym the second day after the workout is always worse. I think that's where we're at here with this trip hangover.
This is that type of situation. And then if you ever just like need the world to like the universe to remind you just how old you're getting, it's like a trip like this. Like we just don't recover like we did when we were 30, when we were 25. Like it just, I remember coming home from trips like these when I was like in my 20s, and it was like, yeah, like the day you got home sucked, right? Like you're like, I'm hungover, I'm tired. But like you woke up the next day, you're like, dude, like going to the gym, your life didn't change much. Today, like I just was, just couldn't get it together. So
yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of good advice and some good stuff for people to do who are looking to do a trip like this or this exact one. The advice to tell you not to follow of mine is to stay up till 3:30 in the morning with a cigar by the fire the night before you're coming home. That is my anti-advice.
Yeah, that's very, very good advice. Yeah, I stayed up late, but I did not nearly stay up that late the last night. On purpose, maybe not on purpose. That's we'll let the other people judge that. But yeah, the 3:30 in the morning, knowing. And here's the thing: I had to get back for my daughter's birthday party. Look, took some flack for that on the trip, and we can get into that right now, or we can get into it a little bit later. I took some flack for that. Nick on our trip was like, "Really, like a birthday party?" For one, the birthday party was planned prior to this trip being planned. Number one. Number two, you ain't feeling no better. We left at 9. You had to get up at like what? You guys got up at like 8:15,
something like
give
that.
Or take. You're not feeling any better at 10. We're not sleeping until 1. We had to check out at 11. You're not feeling any better at 11 than you are at 8:15. You're just not. Like the whole day is going to be bad. So leaving time. Now, it would have been one thing if I asked you guys like, "Hey, we got to be in the car by 6 a.m." That was not the case here.
Yeah, that was not the case. Also, to be fair, the last time we did one of these, we scheduled on an Easter weekend and had to come home on Easter Sunday. So I think the birthday party situation might be able to be let slide here.
Yeah, and mind you, on that one, we did have to leave by like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It was like we had to be home by like 7:45, 8 o'clock. So, we're gradually improving our departure time on these trips.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. It's probably going to be a long one tonight, so I'm going to move us along. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show, and you can follow us on social media at Back9Sixpack. I think we're just going to get right into it here because I've got a few segments to get through. We've got overall itinerary stuff. We'll talk about the courses we played, the games we played, some of the off-course stuff we got into, and then, some planning and logistics things in case anybody's like wanting to do something similar to this, some stuff that we learned along the way. So first off the bat, you're the salesman between the two of us here. Give me a 30-second pitch on why, somebody should do this trip or one like it.
Well, I think for one, so let's start out. I think where you stay is a big part of like how like the enjoyment of the trip, because while you're going to the golf course and you might hang out in the clubhouse for a little bit, right? The majority of your time is going to be spent where you're staying, right? Like maybe not in the house, but like the town around it. So staying in a college town like we did, while it was the summer, there's going to be stuff to do, right? There's going to be restaurants to eat in. There's going to be places to go, and a variety of places to go, right? Like it's not like, not all one thing. So I think for one, like staying in a college town like we did in Bloomington on this trip, specifically to this trip, Bloomington's your typical like Midwest Big Ten college town, right? Like tons of different places, not chain, right? No, they have chain places there, but like the places you're going to enjoy, like you do in most of these college towns, are not chain restaurants. You meet some really cool people along the way. Like, I don't know what it is about college towns. Like, with the people we met weren't even like college kids. They were just like people that, work and live in the city. And it was like, I thought we met some really cool people, specifically at one place. And then this trip in specific, like Indiana golf, outside of like the French Lick Pete Dye course, is really affordable. We played some, I would call world-class golf courses. Like 2 of them were world-class golf courses for $376 to be exact. And, so the quality of golf that you're going to get on a trip, and you could do this same trip with 3 different golf courses in Indiana, in a different part of Indiana, and stay in a college town, and it's probably going to be about that same price, right? So the affordability around the golf to get to play high level golf courses is pretty unbeatable. So I think those are the 2 main things, right? Like where you're staying, pretty cool place. And then, the golf courses you're playing and the prices you're paying. You just don't get that much in American golf anymore with American golf trips in domestically. So that's what I think makes the draw of it just almost unbeatable, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it there. I quickly wrote a note in our agenda that the way I would describe this trip was it was a budget-friendly buddies golf trip built around a college town and elevated public golf courses.
Yep.
And I think that's pretty much exactly what you said. To speak to that budget-friendly part, you talked about the golf. Our VRBO was like $300 a guy, so you're talking $600 for a weekend stay and play situation, and then obviously whatever you want to do around that can cost some money too. But just for the golf and the stay, like incredibly affordable, and in particular when you talk about like you just said, especially 2 of the 3 courses, well worth that money.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I said ever since I came back, I tell people how much we paid to play French Lick, and they couldn't believe it was under $200. I was like, yeah. I was like, we played on a Friday, peak time, $175. Like, and we kind of talked about that course, and we'll get in more to courses, but like, I'd put that course up against any course that charging $500, right? Like every day of the week. So yeah, I think the way you just kind of put it too, just kind of, yeah, it's I think when you get to our age, and I think me and you've maybe talked about this off the podcast, like, we're at a stage in our life where it's like, would I kill to go out and probably do like 100, you go out to a stay and play and you just play 100 golf holes. Those are fun, right? They are. But I think we're kind of tipping into the age where it's like, hey, I want to play 3 rounds of golf at 3 decent golf courses and have fun outside of those times. Like if I play 100 holes of golf, like I'm not going to want to do anything at night. So, yeah, I think that's where this trip in particular, it's like, dude, you're talking like under $1,000 for a golf trip. And that probably includes like our food, going out at night, things like that. Like you can't do that in like 99% of places. So
no, absolutely. So yeah, well, where do we want to go next? Before we get specifics on golf courses, I guess we'll just, for those that didn't listen last week, anybody new listening now, we can talk through our itinerary real quick. We did a Thursday to Sunday. So we were local to Cincinnati, so we were able to drive. We drove from Cincinnati over to Indianapolis. That's where we played the Fort golf course. We'll get into that. From there, we drove, I think it was like an hour and 15, hour and 30 maybe to Bloomington.
Yeah, about an hour and 15 minutes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to where we were staying. Short trip, was able to tee off at 10:30, and we got to our VRBO by 4, something like that. Day 2, Friday, that was when we did the drive down to French Lick. That was about an hour and a half drive from Bloomington. Teed off at 11:24 at the Donald Ross course there. We went and played the Sand Creek short course there. We played 18 holes, so we did the 9-hole loop twice. Messed around the casino for a bit, and got back home and get back to Bloomington. What?
8:15. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, 8:00. And then Saturday, did the smart thing. We saved the Pfau Course, which is on campus at IU. Where we were staying, it was like a 10-minute drive maybe to the Pfau Course. Teed off there at 10:24. Had time to, stop in the bar on the way home, go back to the house, get ready, go back out for a dinner reservation that night, and then finish the night off with a couple more bar hits before we headed back to the VRBO for a night in before heading home on Sunday morning. So super doable, not like a ton of travel. I think it was maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes home from Bloomington.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, all highway,
all highway, easy drive, not much traffic. So just super, like, logistically, like, I think we nailed it for what we were looking for on this one. Obviously we did have some things that were built in to the itinerary. Like, I just kind of threw the kitchen sink at the itinerary and we modified from there. That's, I think, a big thing with a trip like this is, like, you got to know your group. You got to know when the energy's low, when the energy's high, and just kind of like make adjustments on the fly for that. Otherwise, you can overplan these kinds of things for sure when you're trying to cram too much into a short period. So
100%. Yeah.
I think we did a good job balancing out, like, what people needed in given moments, and also just being cool with, like, hey, you want to go back to the house, go for it, man. You can go rest. Like, we're going to go, head back up to Nick's English pub again.
For like the eighth time.
Cut. Yeah. Okay. Outside of that, we can do quick, one of the things when I was preparing this agenda was kind of like, let me give you an idea of, like, I think people that listen probably know the kind of golfers we are, but, new people, like, give them an idea of the kind of players we are and how that related to the courses we played and stuff like that. So Justin is right around like a +1 right now, right? Like, just shy of that. Our other buddy Nick is a 2.5. Ryan is a 6.6. Sandbagger.
Yeah.
And I was an 8.3 before this trip. We'll get into the golf, but I'm now a 9 after this trip. If that gives you any idea of how things happened. We're moving the wrong way. But anyway, I digress. We played a weekend long game, so I know a lot of people are curious about games and stuff like that. We played the Prince of Wales for the first time, which, for those that have never heard of that, you're basically playing an individual net best ball across your however many rounds you're playing. And so it takes your best net score to par across each of the individual 18 holes across all the courses. So your best first hole, second hole, third hole, and so on. And then your lowest accumulative under par is the winner for the week. So that's what we did for the weekend long. And then day to day, I mean, obviously there's endless games you could play. Since this one was like, it was the weekend game was relying on being individual rounds. We kind of kept them more individual games. We like to play a game called Tilt. We picked this one up from, shout out to the No Laying Up guys. It's like a modified Stableford scoring that we did that at the Ford on day one. And that one's always fun because it's pretty, there can be big swings. It's kind of an electric game. You get 4 points for a birdie, 2 points for a par, none for a bogey. You make an eagle, it's 8 points. You make a double, or worse, it's -4. And if you make a birdie, your next hole is worth 2 times whatever you score on that hole. So you can get going up to some pretty high multipliers, all of a sudden make a double, and then you go from first to last pretty quickly. Yep. Ton of fun. That one's always good. Second day, we did a 6-6-6 format. So you're playing individual best ball with a partner, essentially. For each of the 6 holes, you just rotate through your foursome. Always a fun game. I know you like to play with the auto one downs.
Yeah,
and that's always fun. You can go. Feels like you're losing, overall, and then all of a sudden you flip a couple holes and boom, you're up money.
Yeah, I always say it's not important to win the first 3, but it's important to win the last 2. Like that.
Yeah,
you win. It sounds crazy, but the number of matches you have kind of going at that point, winning 2 holes in a row can flip 3 or 4 matches, and you go from losing money to winning money pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that's always a good format. And then the last day, we just did like a simple skins game or dots game, whatever you want to call it. Just because we knew we were trying to compete for the trophy at the end, and we were like, all right, let's put some skin in the game and do an more individually focused game for that day. So that was kind of the breakdown of the games we played. We'll get into winners and losers in a bit. But I think other than that, unless you got anything off the rip, we can talk golf courses here.
No, let's get into the golf courses.
All right. Well, I mentioned before the Fort Golf Course. We played that in Indianapolis on our way in this first day of the trip. It's a Pete Dye design. I would strictly qualify it as a muni. It is owned by the state. It's in a state park. There's natural preservation areas. A local rule we learned about while there is if you hit it into the tall stuff, it's a free drop. Unfortunately, it was not.
We played it as a penalty though. Like,
and it's also not. Unfortunately, the other two courses we played did not have that local rule in play because we could have used it those days. But anyway, what was your overall impressions of the fort?
Yeah, I like the fort. I think going into it, and I said this the day we were playing it, like, I wish we'd have known maybe how dry it was and how firm it was, because I think we probably would have played a different tee box. At least I would have pushed for me to play a different tee box. It was firm, like really, really firm. I mean, balls on fairways were rolling out, what would you say, 30, 40 yards? I mean,
yeah,
a decent amount. Like, and it was firm. But all in all, I thought it was a great golf course, especially, I mean, like a state park. Like, sometimes, like, I've played some really good state parks. We got one close to here, Houston Woods. I've also played some that you're like, not a big, like, this is not good. So for it to be a state park and in good as shape as it was, I thought it was a fun layout. I thought, other than a couple holes being a little meh, like, everything was pretty good, right? Like, for $76, I was like, I don't think you could play a better course than this, right? Like, that's pretty affordable in the golf in 2026. But yeah, I liked it. I did. Other than a couple holes just being a little quirky, I did like it.
I would agree. I'd co-sign a lot of what you just said. The conditioning honestly was really freaking good, I think, for Bermuda.
It was. Yeah, it was really good.
I would listen to arguments that it was better conditioned to Pfau, but I don't want to throw any stones.
Yeah, we'll get into that, because I think in your head, I don't think you know what the Pfau course is supposed to be. I think we played two very different courses, the Pfau.
Yeah.
That the conditioning should be the way it is. Pfau is, we'll get into it. Yeah. But
it's fine. And that's not even throwing a shot at Pfau, to be honest with you. I just, thinking back on the whole trip today, I was kind of like, the fort was like in really freaking good shape. I think this was my best score of the trip, which is unfortunate, but I felt the most beat up after that one. Honestly, I got Pete died hard that day. The blind shots, I'm not a big blind shot guy, and for where the tees we were, the bunkers were just like in the right spots. I was living in fairway bunkers a lot of the day, and it made it not enjoyable for me. It was like a true penalty for me in those bunkers. But yeah, I think good challenge. It's just, I think you feel similar, where it's like, I'm just not really a die guy.
I'm not. Yeah. No, I'm not. It doesn't, like, the course was still great, but I'm like, I'm just not, like, some of his design features, I'm just like, nah. Like, having one or two blind tee shots, like, cool, whatever. When you start, like, tipping on like 7 or 8 blind tee shots in a round, you're like, all right, this is getting like a little bit much, right? Like, it's kind of annoying after a little while. And I mentioned some quirky holes, like, I had 15 pars the first day. I had 2 really bad holes back to back. One was just like, I just put myself in a bad position, but like the first one, I took an 8. I thought I hit a decent drive, get down there, it's gone. Like, I hit it down the right center of the fairway, rolled out. That was kind of one of those things. I was like, it's like looking back, like, I play the black tee box. It's like 320, 330 to the spot that I hit it into. Now, I don't hit the ball that far, but if, when you're hitting it 285 and you're getting 40 yards a roll, 320, if I really catch one, 330 is like not out of the question. I rolled it out into that. So I was like that. And even if I'd hit it like the iron, like, and I think I said this, there were like 3 par 5s or 2 par 5s that were like forced layups, at least for somebody like the tee box we were playing.
Yeah.
It made no sense to hit driver. Like, the one I made the mistake on, I'm like, well, I'm never doing this again. Like, if there's like trouble, or like, I didn't even think there was trouble out there. Like, you saw the cut in, but you're like, there's no way you're getting there. But like, to force someone to hit less than driver off a tee, I'm not a big fan of on a par 5, and the very, very little risk reward. Like,
yeah,
like, we're talking like the one that I hit it in the woods on. We kind of got up there, and like with the hill, how the hill drained, you're like, there's like really like 8 yards, 10 yards you got to hit it into. And it's like, that doesn't make, and just to have like 240 into the hole, it's like, now if I could do that and I have 190, then that's a whole different story. Right. But, so I didn't like the 2 par 5s that was like essentially forcing driver out of someone's hands.
Yeah. That's one thing if you're like the fairways pinched in or whatever. Right. But it's another thing entirely when it's like,
death.
You can't,
right.
you cannot, you don't have the option to take the risk, right? Like it's just like, you can't. So I do agree that's tough. One other thing I want to say about the fort is the clubhouse was awesome. I like the setup of having like the snack shop thing, like right there is like a drive-by by the putting green. However, I don't know if it's because it's a park thing or whatever, but like the routing of like the 9th and 10th hole, like it would have been like a 10-minute drive back to the clubhouse to like get something.
We did the drive. It was about a 5-minute cart ride back to get, drinks from the like little snack bar they had there. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is tough, when you host a podcast called the Back Nine Six Pack and that's the situation.
I was not skipping out. And then the cart girl went by and I'm like, damn, we should have waited. So
Nick and I got lucky. I will say they did have like a built-in restroom or whatever right there off the 9th. So you could stop to use the bathroom, but yeah, we weren't going to drive back. We just happened to get lucky and the car girl was right there.
Yep.
What about, so I got a couple of questions we'll do for all these. Do you have any standout holes that you liked? I struggled with this one.
The fort, I'm trying to remember. Man,
it's going to sound.
I thought 16 was a really good par 5. There was 2 crappy par 5s, but 16 it was like it didn't have the weird setups, like didn't have a forced layup. You could kind of bomb a drive out there, not really getting a ton of trouble. You might get behind some trees, but like there's no like lost ball situation. Mm-hmm. But man, like for how easy the tee shot was, that green setup was like not easy. So I'm good with that give and take. Like you give me some leeway off the tee. Like I'm good with you making the green complex hard. And they did. I thought that was a really good par 5 though. Like it was very fair, but challenging, especially when you got up around the green.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm a little bit biased, but one thing I did like about the fort is a lot. So the tees we played from, which Pete Dye is so good at messing with you that he continued to mess with us by our choice we made for the tees for the next day at the Ross course. But yeah, it was a par 72. We played at just over 6,700, right? So it felt like the par 3s at this course were more fair, I think, to me.
I would say manageable would probably be the word that came to my mind.
Yeah, a lot of the ones on the other course we played were just absolute brutes. So like I'm a little biased. Hole 3, I did make this actually this is the only birdie I made on the trip, sadly. But I did birdie that hole. But I thought that green, and I know you guys made fun of me, it was like a funnel pin or whatever. But I think to me when I'm going on like a golf trip, I'm looking for fun shots, and that par 3 was a 7 or 8 iron with like a cool green where you could actually kind of like feed it to the hole a little bit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a fun hole. There were a couple short 4s, but it felt like they weren't like really drivable. I know 10 you tried to go to. Yeah,
but it was like playing into the wind. I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, there's no way I'd have got there. Like zero chance.
So yeah, I'd agree with you. I mean, the finishing holes, 16, 17, 18, like you said, 16 was a good par 5. 17, this was a bit of a beast of a par 3. It was like 230 or something.
Yeah.
And then you had a 420-yard par 4 to end it on 18. So like Dye is very notable. He's like, it's his thing to have a 5, a challenging par 4 or par 3, and then a challenging par 4 to end. You see that at like the Sawgrass, right? Like that's how it goes. Yep. So overall, like I thought the finishing holes were good. I like that par 3 in there, and yeah, the rest of it I was kind of like, all right, I'm getting smoked by Mr. Dye today. So, but overall, that was a good one. Any big like highlights or lowlights or anything you can remember from the round from any of the?
I know I didn't make a birdie. Like I mean, like I vaguely, I very very much remember that I did not make any birdies. I tell you what, 15 pars. Like I thought the first day is the day I hit the ball the best. I just had like 2 bad holes, really. I mean, I had a triple and a double back to back.
Yeah, I mentioned my score. I shot an 86, so I think this day. Let me look back at the scorecard here. I was getting 11 shots on this day from those tees. Shot 86, which is a net 75. You shot 78. No strokes on that day for you, but really, like you said, you were undone by 3 holes. Nick shot a 78, also, let's see, a net 73. And then Ryan, with his 9 pops, shot 77 for a net 68, which I think probably foreshadows what how the rest of the weekend went. I think my highlight was you giving me a really generous drop and then me making a par, which was a net birdie.
And I think I remember saying on the next hole, I'm like, I'm done being nice. Like, I was like, that was it. Gave you a very generous drop, and then you repay me by making a 4-3. Like, no more.
At that point in the trip, I was feeling myself a little bit, and then everything. I think the karma got me because I did not make a putt the rest of the weekend. I don't think, that was kind of where after that the wheels began to slowly fall off. But yeah, I think that's what else on the board here. Oh, I like to play the 1-word game. If you had to give it 1 word to describe the 4, what would you do?
Oh gosh. Man, this is hard. I would say I got a couple words coming to my mind. It's like 1 word. You can't like string words together.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, gosh. Adequate would be one.
That's a good one.
Adequate. Yeah.
Trying to think. I got a couple words too. Sand is coming to mind for me. I think Muni is good, but like I feel like people just think of that in the negative light, so that's not it either. I'm gonna go with opener because I think like it was a good opener for our weekend. Like
I'd agree with that.
If you're planning a trip like this, I think it's a good course to start on.
Yep.
And then it kind of like if that's like your bar right for the rest of the trip, like that's a pretty good starting place.
Yeah. Well, what we planned to play, Otter Creek, I feel the same way, right? Like it's a good like opening course to play. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with that. All right, on to Friday. This is the Donald Ross course at French Lick. I mentioned how Mr. Dye continued to bone us by impacting our decision to play the back tees at the Ross course, which, looking at the scorecard, didn't seem like a horrible idea at the time. It's on the scorecard of 7,000. If you go one up, it's only 65. So, I know you had some feelings the first day. It was, played a little short. I think we all kind of agreed that it was like probably made sense to move back or to at least consider it. What we did not account for was the wind that showed up at the Ross course that day.
And a 7,000 yard par 70 is really also, like 7,300, Yeah,
I was just going to say also the fact it's a par 70. And then I knew it was not going to be good when we walked up to the starters and they were like, yeah, it plays like 500 yards longer than the scorecard though. Like, oh.
We definitely did not get the rollout that we got the first day.
No. Okay, so outside of all of that, overview, first impressions on the Ross course.
Oh, I mean, I just remember driving in and like seeing the first, or what is 9 green, and it was like, holy shit. You're like, this is undeniably a Donald Ross course. Like just looking at that green, you're like, oh, okay. Like this is going to be fun. Well, that's what I thought at the time. Like,
yeah,
but it was good.
What I'll remember most about the Ross course, is like just the views, the vista, like when you stand up there on that first
incredible
tee, just like all out there for you. There's no buildings outside of the clubhouse around. It's, you can almost see, I don't know, half the holes from that first tee, probably close to that.
It felt very like pure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like just golf purity, kind of.
I think I said it on that tee. I was like, man, you could tell me I was in like New York and New Jersey right now, and I would believe you. Like it just felt like kind of like an Upper East part of the country kind of vibe. Very secluded, and like staff was super friendly. Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about the Ross course, to be honest with you, even though it absolutely destroyed me.
Destroyed a lot of people.
There was a point in time where it was like I was doing the math on like, all right, what do I have to do to break 100 here? Like, luckily, I settled into the round a bit, but there was a moment where I was like, oh, buddy, we're staring down a triple digit number here. Let's see, standout holes.
This one's hard because I was like, there's like 4 or 5 holes that I'm like, this is gonna be hard to choose from. Like, that I thought were like really, really good.
I was gonna say, before we do that, we got to talk a little bit about the Heather situation here.
Dude, it was everywhere.
Yeah, and it was
like positioned like perfectly. Like, you would see some spots and you're like, oh yeah, like, you know, I could probably carry that, and then you hit it, and it's like you hit it good, and you're like, damn, dude, I think I just went right in that freaking Heather. Like, you know, it's like that is in like the perfect yardage off the tee to hit it directly into.
I also want to talk about the greens too. Just like sick, nasty greens, like fun ones to play, but also like as I did much of the day. If you're above the hole, if you're like slightly out of position, like it's a penalty shot.
Yeah, like and you know, I was what I find funny about it is like when you said slightly out of position, like we're not even talking like being above the hole. Like if you're just like on the wrong side of the green, like it could just like I remember just I had a couple chip shots. I'm like, dude, I'll take a bogey right now. Like this could turn into something a lot bigger if I don't like hit a halfway decent chip shot. And hitting a halfway decent chip shot to me is just probably achieving a bogey at that point. You know, like par is not even on the table. So
yeah, there was multiple because of the wind factor. Like, look, I'm already not in control of my irons enough at the moment, and like there were so many times where it's like downwind. It's like I hit what I thought was a good shot, like well struck, right club, and it just carries that extra little bit, and all of a sudden you're chipping downhill from the the back rough or whatever, or like I think it was maybe hole 2 or 3 or something where I hit a pretty good 9-iron from the fairway, lands short of the pin, but like hits like a slope and kicks it forward, and it goes over the green, and there's a collection area. Well, I'm in the rough on the downslope of that collection area.
Yeah, that was number 2. I remember this. Yeah, it was number 2.
I mean, that was just death. There was nothing. No way I could have done anything.
Yeah, you were on a downslope, and then the upslope of like the beginning, like the green complex was like right there, and I was like, I think I remember saying to you, walk by you, and I'm like, yeah, that hill's very inconvenient.
Yeah, it was incredibly inconvenient, as I can confirm by my double bogey. Yeah, so there was just a lot of that stuff, right? Where it's classic Ross stuff, and we know that, and but at the same time, even though like to me, I feel like when I mess up at a Ross course, it's my fault. And in comparison to like a die course, it kind of feels like it's not always your fault. And that's what I think the difference between the two. Like I can accept my 92 at the Ross course because I put myself in these spots.
Yeah, well, and I will say this is the one thing that I think every Donald Ross course, like if you hit a good shot, right, with the right club, with the right yardage, you get rewarded for it, right? And I would even tell you there were some holes where they had the pins. It's like he gives you an opportunity to kind of like have a little imagination, right? Like, hey, you could kind of see a hill on the right side of it. Like I could hit it up here, kind of let it funnel down rather than like trying to like hit it at the pin or like in the vicinity of the pin. So, but yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like the mistakes I made on that golf course, I was like, I just made bad swings, right? And I got penalized for it. Where like we just talked about before, like there was a couple swings. I'm like, dude, that was a good golf shot. Like what? Like how did that not end up better? Or like how did I end up taking a penalty shot here? Kind of thing. So
yeah, and I think with the Ross greens too, it's like something about them just kind of like lights your brain up. At least for me, where it's like you just said, you can like you have chances to play fun shots. You may not pull the shot off, but like you've got a chance at it. Like I think what was it? Maybe hole 3 or 4. It was a par 3, pretty long one.
Oh yeah.
It had that huge
let's see,
ridge.
1, 2, 3, So hole 4, it was like 220. It was downwind that day. The good thing about Donald Ross, like, and I think I said this to you guys on that tee box, right? It was like, you should get nervous when you see a shorter hole.
Yeah.
Like, those are the ones you should worry about. Like, everybody always worries about the long ones. It's like, no. His toughest greens are on the shortest holes. So it was like a very fair green, but like, we got up there, like, damn, dude, there's like a backstop up here. Like, so you hit it, you're going to be hitting a long iron, even if you're playing the proper tee boxes. It might be 170. You might still be hitting like a 4-iron, right? For some of the shorter hitters, you could kind of hit it back there, and like it would come back, like it would come back onto the green. So you had a little bit of a backstop, maybe a back pin. You can play some pretty, with a lot of shots with imagination into that green.
Yeah, and I think was it Nick that made the putt on that green, or was it you?
Yeah,
I
think
Nick.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because yours hit it. I remember yours hit a divot and it was like right on line and it bumped it.
No, that was the next par 3.
Oh, okay.
So you're talking about hole 7. That was another long par 3. Again, kind of with a backstop. So like that front pin, you kind of had like a tier and you could kind of play, something in that bottom bowl, and it would kind of funnel down, right?
Yeah, that was hole 6 actually. 7 was a par 5. 6 is what we're talking about.
6. Yep.
Yeah, it's 249 on the scorecard from the tees we played. I hit a really good 3-wood, but hung it out right into a bunker. But it was like, oh, this is sick. Because the pin was in the middle front of the green with that side like kicker slope, like you said. I was like, I'm gonna try to like run it up the slope and like get it close or whatever. I didn't pull it off fully, but it was like a fun shot to hit.
Yeah. I had a putt on 11. I was on the wrong side of like a hump.
Oh yeah.
I again didn't pull it off, but like I'm like, okay, if I can hit it up this hump, kind of get it into the fringe and like kind of let it roll like directly left, I'm like, I think that's the only way I can get it close.
Yeah.
And didn't pull it off. I was probably about a foot short of what I wanted to hit it, but it was just kind of like I had my back to the hole. Like it was you're playing shots that you just don't normally play, right?
Yeah, and same thing. I know we heard a lot about hole 8. Shout out to Hinkle in that green. Nick got above the hole, hit an incredible chip shot from up there.
Yeah.
I was above the hole too and hit a really good putt down that slope. So yeah, it's just those shots like that like to me differentiate a course like this and a Donald Ross design from some other ones you may play.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah, just to give everybody 7,030 yards, par 70. It's a 75.7 rating, 149 slope. As a 8 whatever handicap, I was getting 17 shots this day. So if that gives anyone an idea of the difficulty we're talking about, that there was the par 3s. I just wanted to call those out. 240 yards, 249 yards, 252 yards, and there was a shorter one up. There was 151 yards.
Yeah, and the two longest ones played directly back into the wind that day.
Yeah, the 252 yard one, I played a knockdown driver and came up just short.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what we were dealing with out there.
Let's see, my club selections on the par 3s outside the short one. I hit a 5-iron to the downwind one, the first par 3 we played.
Yep.
And then I hit a 2-iron, like driving iron on the one. Hit a pretty good shot into that one. I think I had like 25 feet. That was the one where you said I hit the old hole and kind of knocked it offline. But
yep.
And then the last long one, I think it was like 252 directly back in the wind. I hit 3-wood, hit a really good shot. We got up there, couldn't find it. I honestly pulled it a little bit, so I think it like went further. That might have been one of the best 3-woods I've ever hit in my entire life, by the way. Like just how it came off the club, I'm like, there's no way that's short. Like it's going to be somewhere up there, but it's not going to be short. And got up there, and I think I just hit it a little too far and ended up in the heather again. Surprise there.
And then the short one, 16, that was where you made your first birdie of the trip.
Yeah, 34 holes later.
Yeah, really good shot. I got up and down, nice sand save on that one. That was, again, like a fun one where it's like you had a slope you could use. I chose to kind of like run it up and use the slope more of just like a stopper in case I didn't hit the shot I wanted. But that was a fun short 3.
That was a hole in one hole too, like where they had the pin. They all kind of funneled down into that area. I think I hit mine like 5 feet left of it and about 10 feet past it. spun it back to about 6 feet below the hole or so.
Yeah.
If there was ever a hole in one chance with the par threes we played, that might have been the only chance, really.
That's probably the best one for sure.
Yeah.
And then we'd be remiss not to talk about 15, which was the 665-yard par 5 that was playing like 730 probably with straight into the wind. That
By
was
the way, I'm pretty sure the carry over the water was like 220, 230, like just to get to the fairway. Because I blistered a drive and I didn't hit many good drives that day, but like as hard as hard hit wise, like that was the hardest drive I hit all day. And I was like maybe 35 or 40 yards past the water edge. So yeah, it was, that hole is, diabolical is the best word that comes to mind.
Yeah. Oh man, the hole before that. So if we want to get into like best and worst moments, I think the best shot I hit on this whole trip was on 14 there, which was a beast of a par 450 again into the wind. Hit a decent drive, but the wind, I still had it was a downhill shot. I had like 220 and I hit 4-iron and hit it to like 8 feet. Of course, didn't make the putt, but like that shot, there was water long left that you could get it into, straight into the wind again. Like it was tough shot, and that was one that I felt pretty proud of to pull off in that moment.
Yeah, but the par 5 actually, oddly enough, is where I started kind of turning the tide a little bit on my round.
Yeah,
with 4 holes to go. I like I just said, I smoked driver, like pushed it a little bit, but smoked it. Got up there, and it is like there is something to be said when you get up there and you're like, you look at the GPS in the cart and you're like, holy shit, I have 399 yards left. like on the second shot, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I think I hit my drive like 261 into the wind. Felt really good about it. Smoke a 3-wood, like couldn't hit a 3-wood, maybe slightly worse than the one I just hit on the par 3. Got up there and I'm just like, I don't know how far I'm going to have in. Like would it surprise me if I smoked it enough and had like 130? No. Would it surprise me if I got up there and still had 200? Probably not. We get up there. I had like 165 into the green, uphill into the wind, hit like a 7-iron to about 20 feet, 2 putted for a par. But that kind of stemmed my, like the last 4 holes I played really well. And that was kind of the beginning of it. Finally, none of us really chalked a bunch of good swings together. Like it was always like good swing, then bad swing, like good swing, then bad. That was like the first time all around where I'm like, hit a decent drive, had another good swing, and it's like, wow, oddly enough, I'm putting for birdie after you kind of, put some good swings together. So,
yeah, definitely. And you birdied the next hole, and then we got to talk about 17. You lost your drive a little bit right, hit a fantastic punch shot. When I was standing a little bit short of the green, I couldn't see. I thought you hit it on the green. It was like so good. But we get up there and you're like kind of a shitty lie. You're very short-sighted. Hands of an angel get up there and hit this flop shot. The guys behind it, you make it. So, long story short. But the guys behind us are like, you couldn't do that if you threw down 1,000 balls again.
I was like, dude, give me 100,000 balls. I ain't doing that again. Like, and the funny thing is like as short-sighted as it was, like if it doesn't go in, it's only rolling past the hole like a foot.
No, it was an amazing golf shot.
I told you, I said, I think I told you or Ryan wanted to. I'm like, when I hit it, you know how you like hit it and you're like, all right, I hit it perfectly. Like I could see the ball because it was kind of going back into the wind a little. I could see the crazy amount of spin the ball had on it because I took such a big swing at it. And like, I'm like, all right, I think it's going to land soft. And it just like landed perfectly, went in, and is like, I for how bad the day had gone, like it was nice to kind of like just have one go your way. You know what I mean? Like, it felt good. It did.
Yeah, that was an electric shot. To get in, we have one low light from this day that I have to talk about. Just going to bury Nick for a moment here. We're on 11. This is the one where you talked about you had the putt with the back to your hole situation. I hit just a nasty, spinny high right drive. Wasn't good. Got ate up by the wind. Goes way right. It's in the fairway on hole 3, which is one of the long par 3s we just talked about. And I'm trying to get a number. I'm blind to the green. I can't see anything. You're looking for a ball in the heather. So Nick's sitting there and he's like, all right, from where I am in the cart, it's 55 yards. So I laser the cart and I'm like, okay, cool, great, perfect. Get a number. I got like, I don't know, 80. So I'm just trying to hit a short wedge up onto the green, let it release. Hit this shot and you're like, oh God. And I'm like, what? And you're like, that ball barely got out of the heather. Like it like one hop past you or whatever. I was like, how? What?
I honestly thought, well, for a second, I'm like, oh, he's just chipping back out and playing. But I'm like, you had a wide open shot. Like, why would he be chipping it back out in the fairway from like 150 yards? It made no sense.
So I'm walking back to the cart and Nick's like, hand up, my fault. I'm like, what? And he was like, the GPS in our cart had switched to hole 3. So it was telling him he was 55 yards from hole 3 somehow.
Which the green was like right. Yeah, it was like right there. Right.
Yeah. I had to wait for other guys to tee off before I could get my ball, which is always a not fun situation to be in. So that happens. So I'm like, well, great. Now I'm like staring down a bogey or worse here. And in the process, he had gone down to hit his shot. I just lit a stogie. And I told him, I was like, hey, wait, don't forget the stogie. He's like, all right, I got it. Cool. Well, when he's down there hitting his shot on the left side of the hole, he takes it out of the cart so it doesn't like roll off or whatever. This guy gives me a bad yardage and then leaves my stogie in the like total opposite side of the golf hole. And he's like, I'm not going back to get it. I'm like, what do you mean? So I was just livid at that point. I was able to like get up and down for a bogey though, which kind of like chilled me out a little bit. But yeah, that was not a fun moment.
But our guy, in defense, our guy was struggling. Like,
yeah. Hey,
look, not just with golf, just the demons floating around. He was struggling with a lot of stuff.
He was struggling big time. Spoiler alert, I beat Nick that day, which was, gives you any idea how things went for him. So yeah, that was a low light, highlight stuff. We got to do one word on the Ross course. What do you got?
I think I said the word already. I think diabolical, but like in the best way possible. Like, or bludgeoning. Like you could go with either of those. I think it'd be a fit perfect. Those are the first two that kind of came to my mind.
Yeah, I had one when we were thinking about the fort that I wanted to save for this, and now it's escaped my brain fog.
I think I'm going to go with bludgeoning because we all got bludgeoned that day. So
yeah, man, I'm trying to think of a word that's like, diabolical is a good one. I had such a good word before. I'm sad I can't think of it right now. This is, again, bad radio on my part. I don't know. Diabolical is good. I think there's like a better word than that, but I'm going to go with that one because it, like I said earlier, the views, the conditioning of the course, the heather, even though it ate my lunch, was like a nice touch. Like it was just visually appealing.
Yeah, it looked good.
Like,
yeah,
everything about the course, I loved, even though I shot a 92. I think you said it in the moment, like you were like, I'd play this course every day if I could.
Yeah.
And I always think that's the best compliment you can give a golf course. Cause it's like, you could shoot 92, you could shoot 75 and you just want to go play again. Right. Like, I think that's just kind of how it shakes out for me.
And like we got done and like the way I played my last 4 holes, I'm like, in reality, like if I hit the ball better, like I probably shoot in the low 70s. Right. Like, because again, I think Donald Ross course, like they award you for good swings, like, and there's some imagination. You can, you get well rewarded for being in the right spots. Like really, a huge award for being in the right spots. Now, but you get exact opposite. Like if you're in the wrong spot. So like we got done. I'm like, man, like I could see my self shooting, but I shot 82. I was like, I could see myself shooting 70 out here. Like, you get it with no wind and like, I've kind of seen the golf course already. Like I could easily see myself shooting a good score on that golf course. But that's why I'm like, yeah, I would definitely play that golf course every day. 100%.
I'm going to amend my word. I just remembered it. It's a simple word, but the word for me is sick because I think it's a dual purpose word where it's like place is awesome. Like it's nasty, like all that stuff. But it's also like Donnie's got a sick and twisted mind, man. He's,
I think I made the joke. I'm like, I think we got on like 12 or 13. I was like, he must have designed this golf course like right after like a nasty divorce or something. Like it's like
He's a sick individual for some of the
he
stuff
is.
he does.
He is. I think we said he castrated all of us. So
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, to go over scores for that, like I said, I shot a 92, which again was a net 75. Just like my score for the weekend was a net 75. Ryan shot an 89 coming off of a pretty good round at the fort. So that, he got 14 shots that day. He joined me with a net 75. Nick, massive struggle bus. He was getting 9 pops, shot 97 for a net 88. And then I think you shot a pretty solid, given the wind and everything else, 82. Pretty strong. You were getting 5 shots.
Yeah,
so
I didn't get off the tee well, which was probably honestly, it was most of my problems. Like when I was in the fairway, I was fine. I hit some pretty good iron shots. Like the problem was I just wasn't in the position to hit a lot of approach shots, like unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah, I was like mad at how I played, but it was like, okay, like felt like it could have been a lot worse, or it felt like it could have been a lot better too, especially the way I finished. So
yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. Like I mean, my start was brutal, but kind of pieced it back together on the back nine, which I was proud of. I progressively hit the ball slightly better, I think, most of the weekend. And I played better on the back nine each day than I did on the front nine each day. So just, I don't know, couldn't get off the bus, I guess. But that was an awesome experience. And then real quick, just to touch on, we did after the round, me, you, and Ryan went and played the Sand Creek course, which is their newest, like little par 3, 9-hole. You grab 3 clubs, walk out there. Probably only need 2 clubs, as we learned. And go loop around there. That was a ton of fun. We played some closest to the pin and birdie money game situation there. You made an ace.
I did.
You did make an ace.
But it was electric. Like one hop, hit the pin, dropped straight down. Like we all started going crazy on the tee box. Like it was a lot of fun to have that, even though I think it was like, you guys keep saying it was 35 yards. It was like 40 yards. Okay. It was not sub 40. It was like 40 or 45. But it was fun to still have. And I think the last night I just was kind of getting tired, and you were kind of taking our, lunch money, and it was like, I'm like, oh, does anybody else have a hole in one in this group? Like I kept holding it over your guys' heads, which made it that much better.
I almost got you though. There was the hole before the one you made on. I lipped one out, and it was and there was like a group of 8 guys on the hole in front of us, and kind of an electric moment to have that lip out. It would have been very electric if it dropped.
Yes.
But.
Yeah, it was a hard lip out too. It actually ended up like in front of the hole and left of the hole. Like it was a brutal lip out. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a ton of fun. That was a great way to end it. I know our legs were tired after that, but man, that was a good, I would definitely suggest checking out the Sand Creek course. Ton of fun doing that. Just especially after a day where you just get beat up, it's fun to go hit some fun wedges and make some putts out there. Yeah, I think that sums up the Ross course. I think it's time to talk Pfau. I know this one you were very excited to get us to go play. You've played it before in a tournament, right on campus. This place is awesome, like straight up. The clubhouse, like it's all like brand new. It's a newer course. It's got new facilities. Like the practice range is awesome. Putting green was sick,
like gigantic, dude. The putting green is like so big.
Yeah,
it's kind of daunting how big the putting green is.
They had like a wedge area right behind the driving range too. Just like a big ass property. Like
yeah, I think that's what I said when we got up on the first game. Like this facility is just like enormous. Like the land, like just everything felt so big. You know what I mean? Like it just. Like even the driving range is gigantic, dude. Like like they can have the tee box, like it's 100 yards of like tee box area, like from front to back, and it's like even if you're at the front, like you have no worries of hitting it through the range. Like it's like 600 yards long. So
yeah, there's something cool. I've been on a few different university courses. Like a university course is just sick. Like I don't know, it's just got a different vibe to it. You got kids coming out there that are on the team, they're practicing and stuff. We saw a couple of them. The just like the vibe in there is just like, I don't know. I think it had the best vibe of like the clubhouses we were in.
Yeah. And I started out hot, obviously noted Indiana hater here. we go into the pro shop, and you guys kind of get the initial, like, we go into pay. You kind of get the initial, like, rundown of the, the merch in there. And we saw a t-shirt, and you're like, dude, this t-shirt's sick. And it was. And I was like, you know what? I might buy that, because I was like, and I said this out loud, I was like, it's got the least amount of Indiana University stuff on it. And there was like a guy shopping in there, and he like turns around and starts laughing.
Yeah.
like, I don't think he could believe what he was hearing. Like, you're like kind of on home turf, and like someone's like hating on the shit in there. So.
Yeah. You never know. He could have been a Buckeye fan too or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get the double whammy for the UK fandom, and then you have a Big Ten, another team in your conference winning the national championship in football was.
Yeah, I think we were in there shopping after the round, and I was like, I just can't. I can't give money to the enemy. I just can't do it. Like, I've already given my greens fee. That's enough. Plenty.
Yeah.
Kurt Signetti does not need any more money to build a football team.
Yeah. So yeah, Pfau, just like, it was a fun one to walk up to. I think we all felt grateful. It was, like 10 minutes from our house on campus that day. Like, just a really cool property. Yeah, I mean, this play, like, we talked about it before when I mentioned the conditioning. I understand there are different courses, different styles of courses. Pfau's meant to be rugged, right? Like, it just is.
Yeah.
And
I think I compared it to like a Chambers Bay, right? Like,
yes, that's a good comparison.
Nature. Like, they're not trying to change. And so part of that tournament I played in 3 years ago, whatever, Smyers, who did the design, he kind of talked about it, right? Like, he was like, this is meant to be like the lay of the land. Like, we're not trying to change the natural habitat of the course. And so I think when you like understand that, you're like, hey, like, you get around a bunker, like there's going to be like some, there's going to be some heather there. Like, it's not going to be perfect grass. Like, they're not trying to change the lay of the land as far as like the actual grass and stuff on it. So I think when you think of it that way, like, you're like, okay, it makes a little more sense. Like, it's supposed to be a little, rugged is probably the best word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when you were talking about the course to us beforehand, you'd made the comment, I think, about like, you better be dialed with driver. And I did not understand that as thoroughly as I did until I was out there. Dude, they have like a primary and secondary cut of rough.
Yes.
The lies you get out here, I was like, am I in a US Open? Like, it took me, I played horrible. I shot 46 in the front. Kept it in the rails on the back nine, hit driver better. I had all 4s and 5s on the back nine. But what took me so long to figure out was like, buddy, you just got to eat your medicine. Like, you just have to. And also it took me a while to figure out like the way that once I realized like just take the shorter club on every hole, I started to play better, because it was like the run-ups and the bounce up, like the first hops we were getting on these approach shots, especially if you were not, from the fairway, like the ball was just going. Yeah. And honestly, I think the ball was flying too pretty well. And another windy day too. That was definitely part of it.
Yep. Yeah. And when I say like, you got to be dialed with driver, I'm like not talking like, hey, you're going to go out here and lose a ton of balls. Cause I don't actually think that's the case. Like, you will lose some balls, right? Like, there's definitely opportunities for that with Heather and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is like, even if you get in the first primary cut of rough, like, not the deeper stuff, like the stuff right off the second cut of fairway. There's no spin control, and how these greens are firm, and like how they kind of slope, and how everything plays into the shot. Like, you just have no chance, like zero chance. And then they put, it's all zoysia grass, so you got all this zoysia up around the green, and like they mow it back towards you. So like so if you hit short of the green, it's a soft hop. Like, so you have to hit the green. So it just adds so much more into, you have to be hitting out of the fairway on this golf course. Have to.
Yeah, and there was plenty of spots too, like the ruggedness of it. Which thinking back on, like, when I said that earlier, I didn't mean that as a negative for Pfau. I think it makes it cooler that it's that way. There was a lot of like there were some holes where like the heather just like went up straight to the fairway, like it was cut into the fairway. Yeah, like around the greens, like it almost, some of the greens look like they didn't even have a fringe. It was just like the green and then there's rough. So like you'd be like up against an end of the collar or whatever. So there's a lot of cool stuff with that. The bunkers were like, true, like you said, they were more like waist bunkers than like what you would think of a traditional bunker on most holes. Something I haven't talked about yet to this point, but this whole trip, I felt like I got boned so many times. Even with like good shots, I was getting boned where it was like, no, you're not just in the bunker. You're in the lip. You're in the lip. Or like, oh, you're not on the, oh, I didn't go in the bunker. Oh, wait, I have to stand in the bunker and take a baseball swing now. Like, I had so many bad breaks along those lines. And it's obviously, don't hit it there is the answer to that. But yeah, I felt like my luck was not great throughout this trip. And the Pfau Course made that even more. The front nine was just like, oh my God, like just I was like, until about hole 8, I was like, get me out of here. I am just like in a torture chamber right now.
Yeah, you made an incredible par save on 8 after hitting a bad drive.
Yeah,
and that kind of got you back to like, level waters.
Yeah, so to give you people the rundown of this. So on hole 8, when I did make that par, so the hole before that was a stupid long par 3. I hit a pretty good, it was downwind though, so I hit a 5-iron. I was like trying to turn it over, hit a pretty good 5-iron, just kind of like pushed it a little bit, didn't come back in the lip of the bunker. Like I had nothing. Took everything I had just to get it out of this bunker, and I was just pissed. I threw my wedge, not proud of that. Managed to make a bogey from there though. Next hole, like nasty, disgusting, just like sail ball of a drive that I think's in the trees. Toss driver, again, not proud of that. I was just not in a good headspace at this point. Ryan finds my ball, hit a really good shot out, and then like just a pitch out, and then stuffed the 9-iron and made a really good par putt. That flipped my entire round from that moment on. So shout out to Ryan for finding that drive, because we were going to be in a very dark place if I did not find that golf ball.
Yeah. Gosh.
Standout holes for Pfau, like honestly, it's just like a lot of good golf holes on repeat.
Yeah, and they're all different too, right? Like that's what I always like. Like it had been like 3 years since I played that golf course, and like I vividly remember every golf hole. Like that, I think that says a lot about having some uniqueness to each hole, but they're all pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And a big difference between this and the Fort, there was a lot of like not driver holes, but like you still could have hit driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't forced layups or anything like that. It was like, all right, it was the risk reward stuff we talked about, right? It's like, do I want to take this bunker on? Do I want to deal with that heather potentially? Like it gave you an opportunity to like try to push it if you wanted, but also if you wanted to take the safer path, you could do that. You might just have 180-yard shark coming in instead of a wedge, I think a great example of that was that, I forget what hole number it is. It was a short 4 though, on the back. The one that kind of goes to the right. It's a big banana. Oh yeah,
that's let's see, that would be 15, I believe.
15 sounds 16, right.
17. No, it was 14. 14.
Okay. Yeah, 14.
Big dogleg right, got a ton of bunkers down the right side.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Quite downwind for us that day.
Yeah, and so you hit driver, really good shot, had a little flip wedge in. I hit a 7-wood that just skirted between the bunkers. We both ended up making par, right? Like it was like just kind of one of those days. Even the par 3s that were like, what was it? The hole after that, 15, right? That uphill par 3.
Uphill. Yep.
That thing, something we haven't talked about yet is the tips at Pfau. So those are 7,800 yards.
Yeah. We did not play those.
We did not play those. We took our medicine at the Donnie course and decided to play up just a little bit at Pfau. I think we played the blue tees and it was still 68.
Yeah,
like
it was 68.5 or something like that.
Par 71. That par 3 I'm talking about was back into the wind. We still had 215, 220 up the hill.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it was like, all right, here we go. I got bodied by a bunker again, but it was like, oh my God, I made the comment. I was like, holy shit, it's an actual bunker shot.
Like you were in the flat area of the bunker. It was like, wow.
Yeah. I was
He's like,
oh,
you got a chance here.
I got a chance. So yeah, but like that, I think to me, and I think I said this about, I think about the Ross course. I hit every club in my bag at the Ross course, and it's probably pretty close to that at Pfau too.
Probably, yeah.
Which I think speaks to like a good course.
Yeah, test everything, right? Like, yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
What was your favorite hole out at Pfau?
I'm thinking about this one. I don't know why I was drawn to a lot of the par threes on this trip, but I liked some of like many of them. Was it hole 3? The massive green.
Yeah, that's a cool par 3. Yeah,
look, I doubled this hole because I hit it left. I got screwed in the bunker. That was one of my many, like, I'm standing outside the bunker and trying to like be an athlete and hitting it out of the lip of the bunker. Didn't work out for me, but like that hole visually is like felt so like good. What the Pfau course is. I thought 14 was good too. That like we just talked about the short 14, I think. The short
par 4. Yeah.
Short par 4. I thought that was really cool. 18 is a good golf hole, but that thing's a brute, dude.
Yeah, but it's again like a tough finishing hole. But that's my favorite hole in the golf. I think when you throw in like, got to hit a good drive, you get up there pretty. What I would say is like they give you a big target out there, right? The green's massive. I mean, it's like you could fit a mansion on this freaking green. It's so big. But a really cool complex of the green. But like the view from the fairway, just like going back into like where the clubhouse is, you're kind of far from the clubhouse, but you can see it off in the distance. Kind of got heather all around, like a gully in front. It's such a picturesque finishing hole. I had to lay up. I hit a bad drive, had to pitch out, lay up.
Same.
And I was thinking, I was like, and this is the type of course it is, right? Like, I'm like, dude, I could see somebody like not hitting a good drive in like the final round of some USGA event and like having to get up and down, to win, or like, it was just like that kind of like, all right, I take my medicine, hit it out. I got to get up and down from 90 yards, to win the, some kind of bigger event. Like it just kind of has that feeling, that whole golf course and that hole specifically.
Yeah. I think 2 holes that I do want to, number 9, I think would be a really good par 5 if we weren't playing it into 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. It's a fair hole if it's not playing directly into the wind we played it into. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was cool, like kind of climbing back up the hill a little bit to the right, like dogleg to the right at the end towards the clubhouse. I thought that was really cool. I think looking back, my favorite hole might have been number 1.
Yeah, it's a cool opening hole.
Cool par 5. It feels like, when you're by the clubhouse, there's, like we said, it's a big facility, everything's going on, but like after that tee shot, it's like, boom, you're like in the course.
And you're like, you kind of feel like you're miles from the clubhouse, right?
Yeah,
like,
crazy. Yeah. And it was 10:30 in the morning. We kind of had like more of the shadowy light on that hole to start. I think I bogeyed it, but like that's a fun first par. Like 100%. To start on a par 5 like that, I think was a really good opener for sure. What else? What other questions we got here on this? We had a low light in this round. What was this? Must have been like 12, hole 10 or 11 or 12.
Yeah.
11 and 12, right? Combined.
It was 12. No, it was 12. Are you talking about where we hit our T-balls and like they were fine? Someone in our group found them, didn't say anything.
We had some intra-group arguments going on during that hole, and then they bled over into the next one. I think I made the joke that I'll call it out. Ryan was he was the one who saw the balls, didn't say anything, whatever, blah blah blah. That happened. Well, it pissed Nick off pretty bad, and I think that made Nick triple the par 5 next hole. Like them getting in a kerfuffle, insta triple for Nick. And we shook it out, we hugged it out on 14, and things were good after that. But it was I think that was kind of like the climax of the trip in terms of like
100%.
We've all been together.
Some adversity going on.
Yeah, we've all been together. We've gotten kind of beat up by the wind in the Ross course the first day, and it was kind of like we had our little meltdown there. But from then on, vibes were awesome. So
Yeah.
but that was funny. Trying to think any highlights from the round?
I made like a 70-footer on that par 3 you liked.
You did. I've totally forgot about that. Yeah. That was nice. I didn't make a birdie, so I didn't have anything like cool like that.
That hole that you just talked about Nick on, like, hit a pretty good drive back into the wind, hit a pretty good 3-wood up there, and hit the filthiest like flippy wedge from like 25 yards short of the green to about 2 feet. I made birdie there. So those were kind of my highlights for the round.
Yeah, that was probably the best birdie look I had on the day too. I missed that putt, but I made a par as well. So while the two of them were fucking around in the heather and the woods, we were busy trying to make pars and birdies. So that was pretty good too. Scores overall, if we want to talk scores, I was getting 14 shots, shot 87, net 73. So my best net round of the trip, if you want to put it that way. I shot 41 in the back, which after the start that I had to 46, 41 was, felt good. I got things back on track on that back nine. Ryan shot 83. He was getting 12 pops for a net 71. Nick got it back together. Not his best day, but really it came down to like 2 holes that he absolutely blew up on. He was playing really well early in the round. He shot 85 for a net 78. And was this your best round? 77?
Yeah, it was my best round. Yep.
Yeah, and you were only getting 2 shots, so net 75 for you is a good round there. I love the Pfau Course. We'll get into power rankings here next, but yeah, it was a great way to end the trip. I love a college campus golf course, especially one like that awesome. Yeah, it was a blast. So one word, what do you want to go with?
Bully.
Yeah. I like rugged for mine.
Yeah, rugged's good. Bully because like it's all, if you have a bully, right? Like they don't ever just outright punch you in the face and knock you out, right? It's just like death from 1,000 cuts. Like, like you said, being in the second cut, being in the rough, then now all of a sudden you're not on the green, and like it just kind of add like the acts of like bullying just kind of add up after a while, and like you just kind of get worn down, and like you could not lose a golf ball and get bullied into being like 12 over through 13 holes, like pretty easily.
Yeah, I did not lose a golf ball and shot what I shot 87. So like it's very possible. I think I said it early in the round to Nick. I was like, this place is absolutely going to bogey me to death. I was like, I am not sniffing par. I did not hit a green until the 13th hole out there. That's how my day was. And I think bully is a good word, like you just said. The way that the course played, there was just like no give, like no let up. Like there's some courses you get on where it's like they'll give you like a little handshake hole or whatever, it's like kind of butt one down there, you got a little wedge in, you're easy 2-putt par, maybe you make a birdie, whatever. This one was like every shot mattered.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, even the shortest, I think the shortest hole in the scorecard's like number 5, and you get up there and the green is just like obnoxious. Like it's got a big swale, it's got a 20-foot drop off behind the green, alt fairway. Like if you miss long, it just rolls all the way down, right? Like even that, it's like, okay, you got wedge in your hand, but have fun hitting it in the right place. Like,
like I hit a bad drive on that hole, but still had a short iron in because of how short it was. I pulled it a little left. And speaking of the ruggedness of the course, it wasn't in the heather, but like the rough just like wasn't really grown in where I hit it. So it's like, all right, I'm in the dirt, like with this like tuft of grass all around the ball, chipping all the way across the green where it runs away from you. I just hit a decent chip, but it rolls all the way over. Like it's like you're just signed up for, a bogey or whatever
100%.
if you don't have it. So I think, and it's something else I said to Nick too. Like after I got through it was after I made the par on 8. I was like, dude, the only way to play this course is you got to just be like a junkyard dog. You got to be a dog, dude. You can't. The course will bully you unless you try to fight back. That's the only way to put it.
100%. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. All right, that takes us to power rankings. I think you and I probably have the same. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't, though. I mean, the Fort is a clear 3, but it's like I said, it's a great floor for a little trip like this. Like
Yep.
That's not a slight to it. It just was number 3 out of these 3.
That's my 3 as well. Yeah.
This might change if I played him again like next weekend, but I'm gonna put Pfau 2 and Ross 1.
That's how I think that's how I would put him too. I'm just such a fan. I'm such a fanboy of Donald Ross courses that it's like it's something not Donald Ross on this. It would have had to be so above and beyond like that course that I would have moved it above Donald Ross at French Lick. But yeah, that I would go Pfau 2 and Donald Ross 1 for sure.
Yeah. And so like the differentiator for me is like you just said, the kind of the Ross of it all. Like I said, even if I shoot 92 like I did, something about like a Ross course and the greens like kind of lights my brain up in a different way.
Yep.
And I just think the overall, and again, not a slight to Pfau because it's not intended to be like manicured, but like the conditioning at the Ross course, I can't say like there was
so good.
It was rough fairway greens and heather and no
Perfect.
weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was
perfect.
Yeah. You might be in a tough spot or whatever because of the design of the course, but like the conditioning was just like that good. I think it's probably the best course that I've played.
It's up there. Yeah, for me, it's pretty far.
You've played a lot more than I have, and especially tournaments and stuff. So you might have a couple others up there, but
it's
like
definitely top 10 for me for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It was that good, in my opinion. But again, we go back out there a different time of year or something. Maybe Pfau speaks to me that day. I could see myself being more down with Pfau. All right. Last thing goes without saying. Ryan won the trophy. I did make the IU basketball. We all signed it. Ryan's total in the Prince of Wales game was 14 under. He just kind of popped us to death, if we're being honest. He had 2 net eagles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pars, and then the rest birdies. I came in second at 10 under. With all my 1,000 pops, I still made a bogey on the 10th hole across all 3 days. So yeah, I had the 1 bogey, and then I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pars, and then all birdies from there. Nick made a little charge back just to nip you at the end. He was getting 9 pops at Pfau, so that probably aided him. Didn't have, a horrendous day at the Ross course for him. So he finished at 8 under, and then you finished at 7. Kind of tracks. I think, I came into this last week saying like I'm pretty confident Ryan's going to win, and that proved out to be true.
Yeah.
Honestly, mostly I didn't look back at what holes counted for who from which courses, but I think he got us with the round at the fort. Like that just
100%.
Yeah,
that gave him a lead. That gave him a lead that it was just like he's not going to relinquish this kind of thing.
Yeah, it would have had to been like a devastating hole or two to knock him back to the field from that point.
Yep.
Okay. All right, take us home here. We're going to go talk a little off-course stuff and then get into a little bit of the planning things. Bloomington is a base camp. Like, how'd you feel? I know we loosely talked about this, but just overall Bloomington and the VRBO setup and how that all shook out.
Yeah, I loved the house we stayed in. That was really cool. Like perfect size for us. And didn't need much. Kind of had everything we needed. Bloomington as a town, like there's like, again, I said in the beginning, like just so many non-chain places. Like that little like steakhouse we went to on Saturday evening was like, dude, it was so good. Like, had the wood paneling. Like, said it, if you've ever been to Dayton, you've been to the Pine Club, kind of had like that kind of vibe to it. So like
shout out to Janko's little Zagreb. That's what it was called.
It was awesome.
Red tablecloths, little shrimp cocktail and meatball appetizer, steak dinners. Can't ask for much
steak
more.
Dinner comes with a baked potato. Like that's the type of place this is. Like, can't really beat that, right? But we did get a little warning, and I to preemptively say this: the guy that sent this in, shout out to Stein, he's a Purdue guy, so he's going to talk crap. He is. He gave us a little warning about maybe some drug users being around, like kind of wandering around, decent amount of them. We did have a couple run-ins with those. One when we were going to breakfast on Friday, like guy like staring us down. I'm like, oh my God, I just made eye contact with him. But other than that, I thought Bloomington as a home base is exactly what I think we wanted, and then like what we kind of needed for this trip.
Yeah, the VRBO was awesome. Great kitchen setup, 2 bedrooms, like you said, kind of all we needed. There was double beds. You guys had the double beds, and Nick and I shared a king size bed. Put the pillow between us. We were fine. No worries there. Had a fire pit in the backyard, which we used every night, which was awesome. The host couldn't have been more gracious. Like super easy check in, super easy check out. Not one of these places that makes you like, do all the dishes and put all the towels in the thing and start a load of laundry and all. No, it was super simple. Just kind of leave it how you found it situation. We were about a 15-minute walk to Kirkwood where all the action was up there. We did that one night, realized how tired and old we are with our legs kind of being shot. We were like, we're probably not going to do that again, but it is walkable. If you want to stay and walk, it was about a 15-minute walk on First Street where we were, like $6 Uber ride if you just want to take a quick.
Yeah. I don't think I ever paid more than like $6.25 for an Uber ride to go up there and back. Yeah.
I mean, there's a Kroger right down the street. We able to grab some stuff we needed right there quickly, super easy. Trying to think of some other stuff about the area we stayed. So you and I went and got breakfast on Friday before we headed to French Lick while the other guys kind of recovered. Went to the Uptown Cafe. Kind of like, it was a weird vibe. It kind of felt like it was trying to be like super classy, but it was like totally chill at the same time.
Yeah.
We got a good breakfast there. That was a great breakfast spot. If you're like me and you kind of prefer the Southwestern options on the menus, that's a good spot. They got like 3 different options for you. Coffee, full espresso bar. Coffee was good. You grabbed a mimosa while we were there. It was a nice little setup there. I had put in a bunch of different I'm a breakfast guy, so I'd put a bunch in. I guess my one regret is that we did not go to, I forget what the name of that diner was.
Something Deli. Yeah, I can't remember. It's called something Deli.
Yeah, I wish I could remember that offhand. But that was kind of like it was on Kirkwood right next to all the bars and stuff. It was kind of the spot that like people were like
2 places down from Nick's where we went pretty much 9 or 10 times. So
yeah, so we didn't get to go there. That's my one regret in terms of like stuff that had to get cut from the itinerary. We had to get back for the birthday party. There's no chance Nick and I were getting up for breakfast that morning. So that one got cut. I think, I was very pleasantly surprised. We found our spot on night 1, and it was not on my radar to be like our spot. It was a place I picked just to get dinner the first night, thinking like, okay, we'll go here, and then like we probably may not go back. So shout out to Nick's English Hut. We went belly up the bar 3 nights in a row there, actually, and put in an afternoon on Saturday as well. So we were there 4 times. Good spot to go. For us, we're in our mid-30s. It was like, they had an upper place called the Hoosier Room, which I think is probably where more of the college kids and people hang out. We went to the main Nick's English Hut, kind of the bar restaurant area, sat at the bar. Great bartenders every time we were there. Shout out to Big Z. Big Z was electric.
I think we went back on Saturday. Big Z's in there. He's drastically, undeniably hungover. And he was very open about that. And I was like, I've sat in the same seat the last 3 nights. He goes, "You're a loser." Like, you know what, Big Z? You're right. I am a loser. Like,
yeah. I mean, the Sink the Biz fries absolutely did not disappoint. If you look this place up, you'll read about that. I mean, bucket of fries, awesome seasoning on there. It comes with this like aioli dip. We split one of those 4 ways the first night. I got them again for dinner the next night.
The pizza
really
sandwich.
Good.
The pizza
sandwich. You had both versions. There was like a traditional pizza style and a barbecue one. It was like shaved sausage.
Yeah. Crumbled shaved sausage
with cheese and
onion, and then they give you this like gigantic stack of sweet pickles.
If you get the full
with it, right? Like,
yeah, you get the full size sandwich, which is what you did the first night. Literally, they bring you a plate of pickles.
Yeah.
If you're not looking for that much food, the half is plenty. The half is like a full sandwich on its own.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's all you need is the half. But I'm not a pickle guy, and our bartender the first night, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, and I feel bad, but
his name was Zach.
Zach's like, "I'm not a pickle guy either." I'm like, Zach, I'm telling you, like, I'm not a pickle guy. He's like, "I'm not. I promise you, I don't eat any other pickles other than these."
It's like, fine, I'll try one. Ended up loving them. Put them on my sandwich both nights. Like, then we came back like the next night or 2 nights later. Actually, we'd already eaten. I'm like, dude, I gotta have these pickles one more time. So like, got a side of pickles, like, and just sat there at the bar and ate them. So, but yeah, the food was phenomenal. The company was just as good. Every bartender we had, even the one we went back when me and you went back on Friday night for dinner. Both were really cool. We watched the basketball game there. Yeah, that place rocked. Like, it absolutely rocks.
Yeah, the bartenders that night, Julian and Michaela, shout out to them too. They were a blast to hang out with too. I had it in my head before the trip. I thought Alley Bar was going to be our spot. Fine spot. Wasn't the spot though.
No.
And then we did discover the upstairs pub. We were not, and that was not on my radar, but we saw it across the street. We're like, oh, there's like an open air. It's got an upstairs. That was cool. You and I went over there when the other guys went home after dinner on Thursday. Garage doors all open. We were watching the hockey game. Like, it was great environment if you're looking to catch a game at all, because it's like the wall of TVs was huge. If you can catch a seat on that outside rail, that's probably the spot. Do some people watching, get a good breeze in there. That'd be nice. We did make our way down to the Vid, which is one that I'd heard about. That's a long-standing kind of towny bar. We could not find the entrance at first because you walk. It's right next to another bar, but it's very dark, dimly lit. You got to go up the stairs to get into it. And if anybody listening looks this place up, you're going to find comments either in the Google reviews or on Reddit or wherever you find your stuff about the doorman. And trust me, it's legit. He is who you think he is.
He checks out.
He checks out. Apparently the guy's been there for like 40 years doing the same job. Kind of a grouchy old man, almost looks like Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, like kind of the long stringy hair, whatever. A real stickler for his job, and I respect that.
I do. I respect it too.
That place is cool if you want to go. We didn't get on the dart boards or the pool tables; those were pretty packed. But like, if you want some darts and pool, that's your spot. Kind of has like a double bar set up. You can get a drink pretty easy. That one's more of your late night spot. So anyone out there looking for like a late night spot, go there. It's worth a check out for sure. I kind of think those are most of the bars we hit. We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't really venture out too crazy, but
just for anybody listening, if you're looking, like, you'll hear about Kilroy's. It's kind of famously known. They've got a specific sandwich or bread. I think it's breadsticks or something like that they're known for. We learned from our Uber driver the second night that those actually close during the summer months because their operating costs are too high to work without the kids being there, essentially.
Yep.
So don't plan on going to Kilroy's if you're going in the summertime. We learned that because that was kind of like, oh, we're going to beat Kilroy's up. We thought we were going to just live in Kilroy's, and that was not the case, as it was closed for the summer. So just a heads up on that. And then we already shouted out Janko's for the steakhouse. If you're looking for like a just solid small town steak dinner, that's your spot for that. Anything I'm missing on that front?
No, I think that's pretty much, those are the places we hit,
Yeah, I think those are the spots we hit for sure. I did have a question on here on anything that ended up being a highlight you didn't plan for. Obviously we just raved about Nick's. I think that was one for sure. And then the other one for me was like the VRBO having the fire pit. I've done that a lot where like you rent a place and you're like, oh, it's got a sick backyard or whatever. And then you don't use it, right?
Never use it.
We use the shit out of that. So like, I think, that was an unplanned highlight. Definitely.
So something else with the VRBO, the air conditioner in that place killed it. It was unbelievable. It was the best. Like, I've never felt air come out of a vent like it did in this place. Like, it was almost like they had a unit that was double the size for what the house was. And this thing was just blasting out air. Pleasant surprise, especially coming off a golf course. And like, you're just like, want to kick back on the couch and like be kind of chilly almost, after coming out of the heat. But the other surprise was Nick's. Like, I had heard about it. I've walked by it when I was in Bloomington last time. And like from the outside, it doesn't look like much, but and which is why I didn't go there last time. I was actually there when school was in, so I did go to Kilroy's. The other one, the sports bar one, but but it was a pleasant surprise. Like, it just doesn't look like much. And, I remember like pulling up the first night we went there. I'm like, okay, like this kind of has the look of like, I'm going to end up eating McDonald's later or something, like not liking the food. I couldn't have been more wrong. So
yeah, Nick and Ryan split a pizza the night before that smelled awesome.
Amazing.
I didn't taste it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked really good. So I think that, again, can't say enough good things about that. Couple shout outs, some places. So we did get coffee at Hopscotch. I thought that was pretty good latte from there. They had a salted caramel one that I got. We did not. So Village Deli was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Village Deli. Yep.
Anybody going there, please go try it and tell me about it, because I'm seriously heartbroken I didn't go to this place.
I know.
The other breakfast spot that I did look at and we didn't end up going to was the Runcible Spoon, which is like
I've heard about that one from a couple people.
But that one I think was always going to get the cut for me if I was going to, because I had like 4 places listed, or 3 places listed, and we weren't going to have breakfast the one day. So yeah, so just to give people some other shout outs of places to check out. We also did not get to, I was trying to do a pre-dinner happy hour, but we ended up just kind of running out of time. There's a distillery called Cardinal Spirits. I was gonna have us go there, go get like a nice cocktail or whatever before dinner. We just didn't get to it. But they have $7 cocktails from 4 to 6 p.m. So if you want to go check out the distillery there, Cardinal Spirits, it looked like to be a good place. It's all just stuff I found in my research. And I think there was one other thing I was gonna. Oh, okay. Just to be frank, we're 4 guys on a golf trip staying in a house with 1 bathroom. You mentioned the AC. The entire house had great ventilation. I'm just going to put it that way, all right?
Yeah.
So if you're staying in a place like this one, I can give people the details if they reach out at where to stay. But yeah, the bathroom with the shower was great, good water pressure, nice and clean. Bathroom was really clean too. But yeah, we had no issues with all 4 of us having to use that bathroom as much as we did. With the ventilation situation there.
Yep.
All right. I think we're about close here. I had a few more questions. We already talked budget. Again, super affordable. We did our golf and stay for $600 a guy. So,
yep.
As long as you can travel there pretty reasonably, I think it's a pretty good setup, good courses to play. Reflections and advice time. So these are a bunch of questions we'll just kind of run through real quick. Like, the first one, just because I know there's a wide, we're all under, single digit handicaps or whatever, but I feel like it's a pretty good trip that almost anybody could take. I worry about people on the Ross course, so make sure you play the right tees.
Yes.
Just purely because of the heather. Like if you're not straight with the driver, it could be a problem.
Yeah, and I would say the tees you think you should play, maybe go up one.
Yeah, I think especially if you get wind, it's gonna play longer than you think. Just it's a par 70. There's some hidden distance on the Ross course, especially with the elevation changes too. We didn't talk much about that, but a lot of uphills and downhills there. Just generally, I think we've talked about this. Like Indiana, like how does it stack up as a golf travel destination? I think both of us feel like it's underrated.
Oh, way underrated. Yeah. Like there's just so many other places you could do our same trip, hit 2 or 3 really, 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 really top-notch golf courses.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, pay the big bucks at French Lick and go play the die course, that's there for you. That's going to rocket up the cost of your trip because it's like $450 or whatever, but that's there. We talked about Otter Creek. It's under renovation. We love that course. The one time we played it, that's like if you're coming from our direction on the way to Bloomington.
Yep.
That's a really good spot to hit, around Indy. Well, first, we almost played Sultan's Run, but got the Ross course tee time. Sultan's Run is down there near French Lick, another spot. There's a lot of quietly good, like I feel like there's a lot of the Fort level and maybe a little better around Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned, what was it, Sand Dunes?
Yeah, Sand Dunes. You've got Brickyard. You've got Purgatory. You've got all those around Indianapolis that are really, really, really good. You start heading north, you get up into like Purdue, you got Camping Course, you got Ackerman. There's a few other courses I'm drawing a blank on right now up there. So yeah, you could kind of do this trip in like really 3 different locations in Indiana and probably have the same kind of experience that we had as far as affordability and, and the amount of fun. You got some college towns you can stay in.
Yeah, that's everything you just said. I co-sign completely. This is a question. These are from Claude, so that's why they sound a little, whatever. What's the one thing you'd tell somebody who wants to replicate this exact trip?
The only thing I think is do it. There's really most of the time when you plan a golf trip, the number one thing that comes up that probably stops people from doing it is affordability, and you just don't have that, right? You can take and that the best thing you can do with this trip, you can do it in 3 days. I'm not sure there's many golf trips that you can say that about, and play the level of courses we did, but you just the little amount of time it takes to go do it, and the financial hurdle is really not that big that there's really no objections to it, I guess would be especially from a spouse, right? You're all right, you're gonna be gone 3 days, okay, but I'm 2 hours away, I'm gonna be home at a reasonable time on Sunday. I'm not gonna be behind a time zone or anything like that, and then you're doing it for under $800. I'd find it hard to believe any spouse would say no to that, right?
Yeah, no, I'm totally. You almost said everything I was gonna say. Especially the we're in the thick of young family life, and the doability of it from both the budget perspective and the logistics and the travel part of it is just way up here. It's way easier than the hurdle feels especially for people that are at our stage of life, like we just said.
Yep, 100%.
So yeah, it may not be an Indiana trip for you, depending on where you're listening to this from, but just look around,
just look
what's within 3 hours of you, and just be oh, you can easily connect the dots of an hour-ish drive to another course from your home base is not as big of a deal as it is.
If you're really trying to replicate this in another area of the country, do kind of what we did, right? When we set up 2 golf trips, right, in Indiana, and we called one the Boilermaker and we called one the Hoosier, and we kind of based it around 2 college towns, and was all right, we've got this trip, we've got that trip, and so you could do that with easily with I played this course, go down to all right, we're gonna call this the Red Raider, right, and go down to Lubbock and play the Rawls course, and then find 2 other courses down there to play. Same kind of thing, right? You could easily do that just about in any part of the country, because most of the college courses are public, right? So
yeah, I would also say too, if you're going to try the Prince of Wales game, I had Claude help me create a spreadsheet for that. Super helpful. Do something like that. The one thing I wish that I had a better handle on was just being able to track it a little better, either within the round or it would have been nice to know, I don't know, going into Pfau, after we played the first 9, if anybody was within able to get to Ryan, or to kind of because otherwise you kind of lose a little bit of track. It becomes an end of the day thing or whatever. I think the game was really fun. It just would have been, if we had some kind of more live scoring, I think would have been the way to handle that. So I'm sure there's an app somebody's yelling at me that I should have used or whatever, but something like that I think would make the game portion a little bit better. So that's the only thing I'd probably do differently. The last question on here is what's the hidden gem, the one thing from the trip that more people should know about?
Man, I thought French Lick was such a cool town.
Yeah,
it just had a really cool, laid back, super small Midwestern town feel with a resort there. And then you throw in the Sand Creek course, and then, going over and hitting the casino, and it was almost when we were hanging out around there, I'm damn, I kind of wish we had a hotel here tonight. Just to really get after it, and just see what else you could do there. But yeah, I thought French Lick was surprisingly I thought it was going to be really ho hum for a resort town, but it definitely had its character for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking specifically to the Ross course there. This place is within 2.5 hours of where we are, and how little I've actually heard about this place.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of surprising.
It is.
Because like a lot of people mention you, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, French Lick, this, that, it's cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah." But like the Ross course absolutely rips. Like that.
Yeah.
How have I not played that until I was 36 years old?
My thought behind it was like exactly kind of what you said in the beginning. Like you put that course in like upstate New York, everybody knows about it.
Yeah,
everybody. So yeah.
So it's hard to say, a resort course that's almost $200 to play is a hidden gem, but honestly, I felt that way about it.
Yeah.
I was like, how does this play? Just truly walking up on that first tee and looking out at that vista and the views from that clubhouse in the first tee area, I was like, how do I? It like way blew out my expectations.
You know what's funny is I think it would be different if there was no die course there that didn't host. They host Corn Ferry, all this stuff.
Yeah,
I think the publicity just goes so much towards the die course, people just kind of forget that one's there. I think that's probably has something to do with it. Is my guess.
Probably true. All right, that was the last question I had. Is there anything else we need to get off the chest here?
No, I'm just looking forward to recovery over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. A lot of water, hopefully more sleep, things like that. But I guess the last thing I just want to say is, and I think we've reiterated this enough, is like, for a country in which golf can be pretty inaccessible sometimes, like find your version of this trip and just please go do it. Like, I know it's tough to get away from the family to go do this kind of stuff. It took us 5 years to go do another one of these, but like, I know, we should be doing this more often. Like people should be doing this more often. Just take a golf trip, man. It's like, get your buddies, whether it's 4 of you, 8 of you, 12, however many it is. If you're doing a Ryder Cup event, lots of people take those trips, right? Like these trips are like literally in your backyard. You can go find them. Just do a little bit of research. Google's your friend. AI is your friend now. Yelp, Reddit, all of it. Just like dive deep on a place and just go explore it and play some golf while you're there.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully this episode helps somebody plan a trip, whether it's this Indiana one we did. Feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. Hit us up on fan mail or social media at Back9Sixpack. Happy to help people plan something, give them some recommendations and all that. But yeah, hopefully this one helps you plan your next golf trip for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. With that, please subscribe, rate, review the show. Follow us on social media at Back9Sixpack. Shoot us some fan mail. The link is down in the show description. Until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back9Sixpack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back9Sixpack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.